7-year-old Megan Kanka was raped and strangled in New Jersey. Her accused murderer, a neighbor with a secret history of sex crime.
Megan Thee Stallion's Megan's Law line that she did in the song Hiss. The family who Megan's Law was named after is not happy about the song.
The rights of a 7-year-old girl to live far exceed the rights of a criminal to keep his past private.
Megan Thee Stallion might be due in court soon, but this one isn't Nicki Minaj's fault because the family of the victim who inspired Megan's Law are very upset with how her name was used, and they are planning to do everything they can to challenge Megan Thee Stallion. So let's get into it. The internet can't stop talking about the feud between Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion, but this feud is taking a new turn because it looks like Megan might be facing legal issues. I would have thought that maybe Nicki would be facing legal issues because her lyrics were so harsh that maybe Megan would go after her, but no, Megan's verse about, I guess, Nicki, she didn't explicitly say it was about Nicki, but if the shoe fits, was about Megan's Law, which is a law that was established to create a list of a bunch of criminals that we should know about. Megan's Law is named after a girl named Megan Kanka, and her family isn't happy that Megan Thee Stallion has been using her law as part of her music. New Jersey resident Richard Kanka is reportedly fuming over the rapper's latest song, which mentions Megan's Law, a 1996 federal law mandating public disclosure about convicted and registered offenders. The law was named after his 7-year-old daughter who was R-worded and killed in 1994 by a twice convicted offender. It's a really tragic story. This guy moved into the family's neighborhood, and maybe if the neighborhood was aware of his criminal past, they could have protected their daughter. So that's why this law was enacted. To remind you guys, Megan rapped, "These hoes don't be mad at Megan, these hoes mad at Megan's Law." The line was used as a diss towards Nicki Minaj's husband, Kenneth Petty, who is a registered offender. Remember Kenneth Petty? Nicki Minaj's husband was convicted in 1995 after he attempted to R-word a 16-year-old girl. I saw some other article mention that he had cut her before he had done this, so it sounds like it was pretty violent, which is why he was convicted even as a minor. Here's a clip of someone describing how horrific this crime was.
See, when she was 16 years old, she was unfortunate enough to be raped by knife point and cut by Kenneth Petty. She was threatened, she was bullied. In the end, he said, "F the trial," and he copped. He copped a plea, attempted rape, but it landed him on the sex offender registry list. By the way, he is a level 3 sex offender. That's her husband.
A level 3 offender is serious, so it's not something to dismiss. He served 4 years in prison for his crime, but in 2022, he got in trouble again because he did not register on this offender list, which is violating Megan's Law. This was not a great time for Nicki because all of these issues with her husband were brought to light again because he found himself in more trouble. If you guys are wondering why this offender list wasn't in existence until Megan's Law was passed, it actually was. There's a federal law named the Jacob Wetterling Act, which existed in 1994, which needed each state to maintain a registry of these offenders and molesters. So this list was in existence, but only police could use it. So now that Megan's Law became a thing, we've got a public list out there. So check your neighborhood because you might be living next to a creep. Unfortunately, in 1994, 7-year-old Megan Kanka was lured in by a neighbor named Jesse to come into his house and later to be R-worded and then killed. This was such a horrific attack that it made headlines and the entire country was talking about it.
7-year-old Megan Kanka was raped and strangled in New Jersey. Her accused murderer, a neighbor with a secret history of sex crimes. The state wants to pass a law to make a sex offender's record public.
The rights of a 7-year-old girl to live far exceed the rights of a criminal to keep his past private.
Now, because of what Jesse did to this little girl, he was sentenced to death. He was held on death row until December 2007 when they decided to get rid of the death penalty. So now he's just spending his life in prison. But actually, while we're on the death penalty, comment below, what do you guys think about this? I mean, he was convicted over a decade before. So I feel like if you're going to give someone the death penalty, why are you going to hold them for 20 years to think about it? I'm not saying I agree with the death penalty, but I think it's interesting that they get this sentencing, but then it's not really does it ever even really happen? I mean, in some cases it does, and it makes me very uncomfortable to think that there are people whose job it is to go and administer this.
People in New Jersey want the right to know when a sex offender moves into the neighborhood. And since our story last Thursday, the Speaker of the New Jersey Assembly has put Megan's Law on the legislative fast track.
So now this leads us to Megan Thee Stallion possibly facing legal issues. I guess Richard Kanka, Megan's father, Megan the victim, said he was not a fan of the Hot Girl Summer rapper's lyric dragging his late daughter's name into her explicit track. He said that her reference was highly offensive to the pain his daughter and family felt.
Megan Thee Stallion's Megan's Law line that she did in the song Hiss, apparently the family who Megan's Law was named after is not happy about the song. You know, the daughter, Megan Kanka, was murdered by a sex predator in the 90s who wasn't legally required to identify himself in his neighborhood, and that's who inspired Megan's Law. So they don't like the fact that this Megan's Law name is in the song and that there's curses in it.
Richard Kanka told the media outlets he's considering legal action against Megan Thee Stallion and is seeking professional guidance to find out if there are any legal implications regarding the situation. And while I understand why he's passionate and upset about this, I am all about free speech and no censorship, so I can't imagine Megan actually getting in trouble for a play on words or even mentioning a law, which is just like public knowledge. Though it doesn't seem like Megan has apologized to the family for offending them. Some people are asking on Twitter, like, imagine what Megan's family, Megan Kanka's family, must be feeling after all these years to see their daughter's name trending because of a diss track. This person said, if I was Megan Kanka's family, I would take every red cent from those single sales. I'd lawyer up and that video would be snatched from every platform. Okay. I mean, that's a lot. This woman named Moniece Slaughter Johnson said, I demand that bar be changed and I'd gag order this artist, period. Don't profit off my pain or my child's passing. It's low AF. And I think a lot of people, you know, think that Nicki's song Bigfoot, where she's talking about Megan's mother, is pretty low, but I can also kind of understand where they're coming from here. I'm just trying to tell you guys the story. I'm not necessarily on one side or another because, again, I do think free speech is so important. Moniece Slaughter ended up taking down her tweets calling out Megan, but it started the debate over Megan's Law. Despite whether Megan will hit the courtrooms or not, there's definitely a lot going on with her and her family. As we all know, Megan Thee Stallion's mother is passed away, and her mom's cemetery actually amps up security because of the barbs. So Megan's team is currently worried that Nicki's fans will do something to her mother's gravesite. This is just, I feel like we crossed a line a long time ago. It all started last week when Nicki distastefully cracked a joke about Megan's mother on the streaming platform Stationhead. Her exact line at the time was, you better go conjure up your mother and apologize. That's disgusting. And some fans took that to heart. Okay, who are these fans? Like, really? Nicki did explain that she only took the shot at Megan's mom because Megan was coming after her own family. You know, the Megan Law, what we've been talking about. But Nicki also has to understand her influence and her impact. And by saying these things, there are people in their minds who will go and do some sick things, like, I mean, go and dig up someone's dead mother.
Allegedly, they're saying that some of the barbs reportedly found out where Meg Thee Stallion's mother was laid to rest. They put the location and a caption that said, you know what to do. So the actual cemetery told TMZ that they increased security, they called police and just added extra personal security on site to make sure that the gravesite is okay.
Yeah, that's how I know y'all ain't got no older people in y'all life. If y'all had older people in y'all life, older people would tell you, don't play with the dead.
Nope.
Ain't no good gonna come to anybody doing stuff like that. You have cursed yourself and don't even know it, okay? You do not play with the dead.
I totally agree. I am very cautious when it comes to dealing with the dark side. And I feel like, you know, even if you're doing it in Nicki's honor, it's going to leave a stain on your soul. Megan's mother, Holly Thomas, was laid to rest after passing from brain cancer in 2019. It turns out that local authorities were contacted to increase security personnel at their facility. They add that nothing has happened to the gravesite yet, but they emphasize that they are on high alert regardless. The extra precautions come after some of Nicki's fans, her army of fiercely loyal supporters, first leaked the location of Holly's burial site on social media, encouraging others to go and desecrate her grave as a way to get back at Megan. Even though, like, Nicki Minaj has denied that Bigfoot is a diss track, it's clearly about Megan Thee Stallion, and it's gotten pretty dangerous. And I have to say, I love a good social media feud. I love a good celebrity fight, but this has gone way too far, and it's getting scary. So I want to hear what you guys think about this grave story, and also let me know in the comments below. Like, do you know if there's any legal implications for Megan Thee Stallion? Because I just don't see any. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in a new one soon. Bye, guys.